Every time the world becomes unstable, people interested in the model ask the same question. What should I buy? Gold, oil, defense stocks, Bitcoin, cash, treasuries. But maybe that question is too small, because the better filter is not what asset goes up when the world gets dangerous. The question becomes, what do you own that still matters if the world stops behaving the way you expected? A brokerage account can show you a number. A bank account can show you a balance. A crypto wallet can show you a token. But none of those things by themselves can shelter you. None of them can grow food. None of them can catch water. None of them can become a place where your family, your friends, or your community can gather. This is not an argument against financial assets. Financial assets are powerful. They can compound. They can move across borders. They can preserve purchasing power. They can give you flexibility. But they are incomplete, because modern wealth has become increasingly abstract. It lives on screens. It depends on institutions. It depends on clearing systems, currencies, banks, brokers, laws, liquidity, market confidence, and functioning infrastructure. And most of the time, that abstraction feels normal, until it does not. Until war risk moves energy markets, until inflation returns, until currencies weaken, until supply chains break, until people begin to ask whether their wealth is actually connected to anything that can support a human life. That is when a strange realization appears. Being rich is not the same as being resilient. You can be rich and still have nowhere to go. You can be rich and still depend entirely on fragile systems for food, water, shelter, energy, and community. You can be rich and still feel trapped in a life where every basic need is outsourced to someone else. So maybe the future of wealth is not only about owning assets that appreciate. Maybe it is also about owning assets that remain useful. Useful when the market is calm. Useful when the market is volatile. Useful when life is normal. Useful when life becomes uncertain. That is the idea behind resilience estates. Not bunkers, not fear compounds, not isolated retreats where people hide from the world, but productive places. Places that can be walked, checked, maintained, improved, and used. Places where the water system is not just an idea, the pantry is not just a photo, and community is not just a slogan. Land with shelter, water planning, food systems, guest revenue, retreat potential, community. A place that can host people, feed people, employ people, teach people, and still function as a real asset. Gold can store value. Bitcoin can move value. Stocks can compound value. But land, if designed correctly, can become a place. And a place can do something that financial assets cannot do by themselves. It can support life. The mistake is thinking resilience has to look like fear. It does not. Resilience can look like a farm breakfast after a retreat. It can look like a shared table, a garden, a water tank, a trail, a villa, a workshop, a community of people who know each other before they need each other. The point is not to predict the future perfectly. No one can. The point is to own assets that remain useful across many possible futures. In one future, the estate is a retreat business. In another, it is a second base. In another, it is a food-producing property. In another, it is a community hub. In another, it is a land-backed store of value. In another,
It is simply a beautiful place where people remember that wealth was never supposed to be only a number on a screen. That's the deeper asset thesis question. Not what will go up next week, not what headline will move the market tomorrow, but what kind of asset still matters when the assumptions underneath ordinary life begin to change. For decades, we measured wealth by how much it could grow inside the system. Base 2 asks what part of that wealth could become useful outside the screen. Shelter, water, food, community, and a place people actually trust. If that question feels important, join the Base 2 Telegram community.